Welcome back to PoshBytes, where we promise not to judge your corporate shared drive's file structure. You know the one, 12 layers deep, half the folders named new, and at least one file called final new version 7 really final finalist. That's because today we're bringing order to the chaos using the .NET system.io.path, because even if your folders can't behave, your PowerShell can. Sometimes a path is like a stack trace. You only want the final line, where things are actually broken, or in this case, just the file name. Also, fun fact, you can shorthand system.io.path to simply io.path because PowerShell implicitly understands the system namespace. It's actually slightly faster. That's great for when you want the file, but not the pesky XLS part. Perhaps because you're about to replace it with something more respectable, or a TXT. However, before you bust out the string manipulation methods to add that extension back on, let's look at the change extension method, because maybe your file wants a career change. And who are we to judge? This is particularly useful when performing backups or when disguising your PowerShell scripts as homeless text files. Not that I would suggest such mischief. And on the other hand, sometimes you just want the extension. Well, System.io.path can do that for you too. And yes, GZ is the extension. .tar is just pretending, much like people who list Excel wizard on their resume. Moving up from the files, let's see what we can do with the path. File path without folders is like a wizard without a road. Technically, still functional, but awkward. The get directory name helps you figure out where the file lives, so you can visit it or evict it, depending on your mood. A little known fact, the fall of the Roman Empire was caused by incorrect backslashes. Okay, maybe not, but they can be a huge pain. So why not let PowerShell combine them for you? Path combining is magical. It keeps you from accidentally creating a file named data report q410.txt all as one word. And just like every great quest, sometimes you need to start at the very beginning. And Windows file systems have very strong opinions about what characters are allowed in file. Some of these rules date back to the MS-DOS and have simply refused to retire. Thankfully, .NET exposes these restrictions so you can validate your input before Windows throws a fit, or before a user passes in something that looks like it was typed by a cat. And finally, for when you need a file that even you don't plan to remember, get temp file name generates a random file name with the path of the temp directory. And get random file name generates a random file name with no path. In either case, no file is actually created unless your script writes something to it. Great for testing and writing temporary logs you definitely won't forget to turn off before moving onto a production server, accidentally filling the system drive and causing a global outage, right? Right? Well, even if you do, since you wrote them all to the temp folder, you can clean them up, click of a button, or a script. Can you do some of this with native commandlets like join path and split path? Absolutely, but PowerShell gives you options. Glorious, redundant, wonderful, overlapping options. It's like a language designed by somebody who really didn't want to feel boxed in. Found this useful? Hit like. If you have any suggestions for future topics, let me know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe for more PoshBytes every week. And remember, all commands from this and all other videos are available at douse.dev.